Hi guys, thanks for checking out the video. Last week I played my first professional event of the year, the Cornish Festival, and it was a nice 3-day event. Came, I think it was tied 47th out of a field of probably 130 odd, so pretty central in the pack. But had a great time playing, and it was nice to be back on the course and experience some of the feelings that you guys have probably been getting week in, week out if you've been playing a bit more. I haven't been putting great. I've been in a few of Mark's videos and a few of my own on here, and been having a few issues getting the ball to the hole, and kind of 6 foot I haven't felt overly confident. So before I went down there I got on our SAM system, which kind of tracks the putter blade, and actually had a good look into what's going on. The SAM showed that my blade was very open at address, so to try and counter that, I changed putters, not so much blaming the putter, but it has a slightly different alignment system, and I've gone back to actually using a line on the ball rather than just using the blade itself, and that seemed to help. Took a putter blade that was very open and got it pretty much bang on, so that certainly helped. The SAM also showed that I was arcing quite a lot, and the arc was actually making me then hit it out the toe as well. So I've been struggling to get it to the hole, and obviously if I'm hitting it out the toe, that's going to slow the ball coming off the face, and again is not really going to help. So I changed my posture slightly, got over it a bit more, and again that seemed to help. And I'd be lying if I said I putted fantastically, but it was definitely 100 times better than it was. I would have liked to have holed a few more, but I cleaned up far better, and although I missed a couple shortish ones on day one, all in all I was pretty happy with my putting performance. Went down the day before, and we played one of the courses that we were playing on day 2, and that was great to get out. First things first is just to get out and play, but also played a lot of Parkland courses when I've been back home here, so going down to Cornwall and actually playing a links course, it was pretty good for me just to try and sort of settle in with the conditions. I would say this was especially around the greens. The greens were a lot quicker than I've been playing on, and certainly chipping around the greens is slightly different for that reason. One note I would say is that when I play a practice round, I try not to score. I'll play, and I'll sometimes play into the pin that's on there on the day, but again I'll drag the ball away, I'll putt into areas that I think the pin is going to be in the competition, and I'm just going to have a general look around where I don't want to miss the green. If a position is in position A, maybe I can't afford to miss it in a certain place, whereas it's a different combination if the pins are in a different position. So practice rounds I really do try not to keep score, and really just get a feel for the place. I found as well is if you take scores, it can only really have a negative effect on your performance a couple of days later, and that sounds quite negative, but I mean it. If I have a horrible hold, I mean if I make a double bogey for example, I'm standing on the tee thinking, in the competition thinking, I don't really want to have a double bogey, that would be kind of a destroyer of my card. But it can also work the other way. I've had times before where I'll sort of birdie the stroke index 1 hole in the practice round, and I'm standing in the competition thinking I'm very unlikely to birdie this hole 2 times in a row. So I try to keep away from doing that for those reasons. Getting into the event, like I said, had a great time. Day 1 we got a very bad wind around St Enodoc, very tricky course. It's a top 100 in the world, but the back 9 was really quite difficult. We had gone out and had a few too many beverages as well, so although I was feeling fine, I mean, you don't realise the fatigue sets in and you start losing concentration, making a few mistakes as well, so I mean, that certainly didn't help. But it was interesting because it was my first event for quite a long time. I broke my foot last year, so competitive golf was very minimal in 2013. So I had a bit of a layoff, and it really was interesting on how your focus can change when you're playing a competitive round compared to when you're either practicing, or in my case I've been doing some videos on YouTube with my own channel and with Crossfields. The first year, remember I drove the ball fantastically in the practice round, so really no problems with it at all. But I just got up on the tee and I was looking at trouble that was a bit further left, and I'm thinking, well, I don't want to hit it right. So it just shows you that in a competition how you can get a bit wide in your observation of what you're trying to do. You have to really try and keep it just a fraction narrower, and I would say that probably comes from a bit of like pre-shot routine and trying to really get in and focus in on the target. It was quite noticeable that I'm quite strict with my routine when I'm playing a competition, whereas I'm not so much when I'm doing videos. So by being strict and going into a strict routine when I hadn't really been doing it, it made it feel different, and when it feels different, again you start looking at other things. So I would say have a real nice simple routine, but then keep it simple and use it whenever you're playing. It can be quite difficult if you practice and don't have any routine and then go into an event and have a routine, it's going to feel different, whereas you want playing in an event to feel exactly the same as whether you're on the course or you were just out having a little fun game with your mates. So that was quite noticeable early on. It was also quite noticeable that I haven't been playing a great deal, and some of the mistakes I was making you just really can't afford to do. Short game was great, better than I thought. I haven't really practiced it a great deal, so I was actually very pleased with my performance around the greens, but I was tending to miss them in the wrong position. So an example would be a pin would be kind of tucked away with a slope on the right, and then I would miss it right. So you watch the Masters and it will be a real good indication of when guys are doing that. You can play a really nice shot, but it's going to roll out to 10-15 feet away, kind of regardless of how well you play it. So for me, that was one thing I would certainly take into future events, is really trying to plot my way around a bit better, and if I am going to miss greens, try and get them into positions where I can actually get it up and down. Sometimes it's not how good your short game is, it's doing it. If you were to give somebody that's got a great short game a competition, but you gave yourself quite an easy chip and they were very short-sided, really poor lie, you would expect to beat them that way. So again, make it as easy as you can on the course and really try not to miss in positions that are just going to be real penal. And I found I did it a few times, hit really nice shots and they sort of just missed and rolled off, and again played nice pitch shots but didn't quite get it up and down. And certainly around Enodock it was easy to drop shots and get on that so-called bogey train. But the final 2 days I was actually pleased with my performance. One over level, should have been a little better. I had a couple scenarios like I've just explained, went long of greens when it really was then impossible to get it up and down. And on the 2 par 5s at Newquay on the last day, got it up by the green, kind of didn't make a decision on what I was trying to do with the pitch shot, and then that's when a bit of doubt comes in. And in both scenarios I hit poor pitch shots. I hit first one, the pin was at the front, I hit it right to the back and 3-putted, and the second one the pin was right at the back and I hit it to the front and 3-putted. Again, very easy to blame the putter, but when you're at 50 yards, if you decide to hit it to a position where you've got to putt across the whole length of the green, 3 putts are going to happen. But I did feel it came from really not making a decision before I actually played the shot. And it's quite easy to whip the wedge and standing over the ball, and then you're kind of trying to take in what you're trying to do. So it doesn't at the time feel like you haven't made a decision, whereas actually if I'd stayed by my bag a fraction longer and gone, well, what kind of flight do I need? Like the first one I needed it to roll on, but I had my wedge out already. So you then caught in between. I try to de-loft it a bit and that takes the bounce off. I got a bit knifey and it shoots through. So just really annoying bogeys they were. So I've shot level par around Newquay and bogeyed both par 5s when I was in position to kind of birdie them both. So good rounds. I was pretty pleased with the result, but certainly a lot I can take from it moving forward, and I hope some of the things I've said here again will help you. Put some comments down below, guys, and I hope to catch you soon.